Hi, I'm Tom Lydon with ETF Trends here in Hollywood, Florida at the Inside ETF conference here with Jay Jacobs, who's the head of research and strategy at Global X. Great seeing you, Jay.
Thanks for having me.
So there's a lot going on here at the conference, but a lot of discussion about thematic ETFs. So before we dig into it, what are thematic ETFs and what do they mean?
Yeah, it's a great question because I think it's a term that's been used a little loosely recently. So we have a pretty strict definition for thematic, which is identifying the structural trends that are disrupting the global economy and then looking at the companies that stand to benefit from the materialization of those trends. So if you look at something like robotics, very disruptive theme. It's going to change how things are built, how we get around, how we clean our apartments, and then what are the companies that benefit from that trend? That's
Gotcha.
thematic investing.
Yeah, and it could be technology weighted, but it could be outside of the technology world as well, right?
Absolutely. The advancements we see in technology are incredible right now. So you see a lot of tech themes, but that's not it. I mean, there's demographic changes, there's changes in consumer behavior, there's changes in government that's changing things. So there's a lot of themes that can happen outside of the tech world, as you said.
So ETFs were built on legacy indexes. Over time, there have been more and more ETFs that are out there and more choices for investors and advisors. Here, there are thousands of financial advisors that are looking at these opportunities and saying, maybe in technology or thematic, I can find the next FANG stocks. Or maybe in biotechnology, some companies that aren't going to make it on a S&P technology index, right?
Yeah.
So what other things are thematic based that we might want to talk about?
Well, I think one of the biggest themes right now is robotics and artificial intelligence. The mind and the machine coming together to enable the creation of things or the action of things that we've just never been able to automate before. So I think that's huge. I think the second one is lithium and battery technology. So people might doubt that electric cars are happening. It's happening.
Yeah.
There's $400 billion that have been spent on electric vehicles and autonomous vehicles, or is going to be spent in the next decade. So the car manufacturers are behind this. This is happening. And also the Internet of Things. Connecting ordinary objects to the Internet is happening at an accelerating rate. This is a theme that we're just starting. If you have a smartwatch on or a smart home, but this is only going to get more and more exciting.
Yeah, more and more our lives are tied to our phones for sure. And then, as you point out, batteries are going to be more and more important. Take into account, for example, the demand for lithium. It's going through the roof, right? So all these things kind of are weaved into these thematic strategies that you folks offer.
Yeah, the idea is to build an ETF that really tries to laser focus on the companies that stand to benefit from these trends. So if you think that electric vehicles are going to be the new mode of transportation, replacing internal combustion engines, how do you best play that? So we work with index providers to create these custom indexes to get this really targeted exposure to the companies that stand to benefit from that trend.
Do you think in thematics we're still just scratching the surface?
I think we are. I think it's from a product side, I think we've actually made a lot of progress. But I think from the acceptance in the broader investment community, we're just scratching the surface right now because I think there's people that get these themes and are excited about them, but there's still questions around how do you fit this in a portfolio? How do I evaluate themes? How do I analyze different thematic funds that are kind of targeting similar themes? So there's a lot of education to still be done in this space before it becomes more ubiquitous.
Great. Jay, as always, great seeing you. Thank you.
Thank you.